Have you ever wondered what sparks the fires of conflict that blaze across nations? Today, we delve into the genesis of the Russia-Ukraine war. This conflict, a striking example of modern-day warfare, has been ongoing for several years now, leaving an indelible impact on the world stage. It's a tangle of political ambition, territorial claims, and international power dynamics, all playing out in the heart of Eastern Europe. The Russia-Ukraine war, however, is more than just a regional conflict. It's a global issue affecting economies, political alliances, and human lives beyond its borders. The stakes are incredibly high and the implications are far-reaching. But to fully grasp the gravity of the situation, we must first understand how it all started. Why are these two nations at odds? What led to this escalation? What are the underlying issues? To understand the present, we need to journey to the past. The roots of the Russia-Ukraine conflict stretch back to the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. When the Iron Curtain crumbled, Ukraine, like many other republics, seized the chance to become an independent nation. However, the journey towards sovereignty was anything but smooth. In the early years of independence, Ukraine grappled with economic instability and political corruption. The nation was caught in a tug-of-war between the West's allure of democracy and Russia's grip of influence. This struggle for identity and alignment came to a head in 2004 with the Orange Revolution. The Orange Revolution was a series of protests against a rigged presidential election favoring the pro-Russian candidate. The people of Ukraine rallied together, demanding a fair and transparent democracy. Their efforts bore fruit, and the election was overturned, marking a significant victory for the pro-European factions. However, this victory was short-lived. As the years rolled on, the political landscape of Ukraine became increasingly polarized. The divide between the pro-Russian East and the pro-European West deepened, setting the stage for an even greater conflict. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea, a semi-autonomous region of Ukraine that had been a bone of contention for years. This move was seen as a direct challenge to the international order and a violation of Ukraine's sovereignty. It ignited a conflict in eastern Ukraine, a region with significant Russian-speaking population and sympathies towards Russia. This conflict, often described as a proxy war, has seen Russia supporting the separatists in eastern Ukraine, while the West backs the Ukrainian government. The war has become a symbol of the larger geopolitical tensions between Russia and the West, drawing in nations far beyond the borders of Ukraine. In the heart of these events lies the crux of the present-day conflict. A nation torn between two spheres of influence, its people divided, and its territory contested. The seeds of discord sown decades ago have grown into a tree of conflict that overshadows the land of Ukraine today. Wars are rarely fought in isolation. The stage of the Russia-Ukraine war extends beyond their borders. Picture a grand chessboard, with the world's nations as its pieces. The Russia-Ukraine conflict isn't a mere game of checkers between two players. No, it's a complex game of chess involving multiple global powers. Let's start with the United States. The US, being a leading NATO member, has been a significant supporter of Ukraine. Why? Well, it's a mix of strategic interests and principles. The US is keen on preventing Russia from expanding its influence in Eastern Europe. Moreover, it's also about standing up for democratic values against aggression. Then we have the European Union. The EU, particularly its eastern members like Poland and Lithuania, are staunchly behind Ukraine. And it's not just about geography. It's about shared history, shared values, and a shared vision of a Europe whole, free, and at peace. But it's not just the West. Turkey, a NATO member but also a country with close ties to Russia, has been walking a tightrope. It supports Ukraine's territorial integrity and has provided it with military aid, but it also maintains a delicate balance with Russia due to strategic and economic reasons. Beyond these nations, there's the silent majority. Countries that choose to stay neutral or silent, either because of their relations with Russia or because they're unwilling to get embroiled in this geopolitical quagmire. So, you see, this conflict is a mirror that reflects the global power dynamics. It's not just about who wins or loses on the battlefield. It's about the shifting alliances, the balance of power, and the unwritten rules of international politics. Every move, every counter-move on this global chessboard has repercussions far beyond the immediate theater of war. It affects global stability, international norms, and the very architecture of the world order. This is not just a war between two nations, it's a global power play. But why does this war persist? Why hasn't peace prevailed yet? These questions may seem simple, but the answers are anything but. The complexities of the Russia-Ukraine conflict run deep, entwining political, economic, and societal factors into a knot that is daunting to untangle. Politically, the conflict has been fueled by differences in ideology and the struggle for power. Economically, the war has been bolstered by vested interests and the distribution of resources. Society's role cannot be overlooked either. The war has sown seeds of division, creating factions within communities, and feeding into an ongoing cycle of animosity. Moreover, global power dynamics and strategic alliances add another layer of complexity. The support of various countries extends beyond mere political solidarity. It ties into the broader geopolitical chess game, with nations vying for influence and control. In the end, the path to peace is not a straight line, it's a labyrinth. The path to peace is often as complex as the war itself. As we look to the future, the question remains, who will emerge victorious? The answer is far from simple, as the Russia-Ukraine conflict is a tangled web of geopolitical interests, historical grievances, and human resilience. Let's imagine a few potential outcomes. One scenario could see a negotiated peace with compromises from both sides. This could foster stability but also leave lingering discontent. Another possibility is a prolonged stalemate, where neither side gains a decisive advantage, leading to an enduring strain on resources and morale. Yet another scenario could witness an escalation, where the involvement of global powers could tip the scales, potentially reshaping the world order. Each scenario carries its own set of implications, from the shifting alliances on the global stage to the everyday lives of those caught in the crossfire. In the end, the true cost of war is measured not in victories or defeats, but in the lives impacted and the history shaped. So as we ponder the future of this conflict, let's not forget the human element at its heart.